What's up, Panther fam? It's Derek from Panther Magazine. Thanks for checking out the channel today. So I'm here with my Merc in the city of Boston. I wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on with my Mercury, my 2003 Grand Marquis, as well as make this video about what the difference is between driving a Grand Marquis and a Crown Vic, considering I've driven 4 Grand Marquis and a Crown Vic. So anybody interested in purchasing one of the two can know the difference between driving either the Merc or the Vic. So the Merc is in good shape. I've driven it to Detroit, Michigan, Philadelphia, and Carlisle, Pennsylvania for 4 nationals, and it hasn't given me any problems. As you guys seen in previous videos, I recently did the front suspension over before driving to Detroit. So the suspension is pretty good. I think I need an alignment again soon. I need brakes right now. And as you guys seen from another video, I still have the rejection sticker on my car. Expires in 2025. The reason I got the rejection sticker is because I just replaced this mirror cover. It was cracked, so they didn't pass me for inspection for that. And also I have this hole here, which is common on the Grand Marquis and Panthers in general. I'm thinking about swapping out the entire fender, or just bondoing it up. But yeah, those 2 things, so that would be next, and I should pass inspection. They also said I had bad ball joints, which me and Andrew did over before driving to Michigan. So other than that, just brakes and fixing that hole in the fender. This car is running great. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm almost at 200,000 miles, believe it or not. So yeah, other than that, and the AC, but a lot of people's ACs go out on these cars, so that's not something new. Now, as far as the back end, I do have some thresh mufflers that Andrew has that we're going to throw on there. I need to grab me a left side tailpipe. I'll probably get that from Rock Auto. And from there, my friend Nate, he does body work, and he can do a lot of welding and stuff like that. So we're going to throw some mufflers on there to give it a noise. And I'll probably repaint the wheels, thinking silver to go with the Marauder. The Marauder grill I have, either silver or another darker black, and with the mufflers, and then tint it. And I think, I have myself a solid Grand Marquis here, even though it's pretty solid already. Now my car's a little bit dirty, but I want to shout out Tara Tweed. She made these paperweights for me for at the meets. So the magazines don't fly away. These hold the magazines down. She made these with resin, completely herself, with a few parts from the junkyard. This one's pretty cool. People love seeing this one. And you have the Marauder center cap. It's kind of scratched up, which is also what I learned. This is not a Marauder emblem. This is a center cap. And it looks really good. So she made the grill, and she also made these for me. So big shout out to Tara Tweed. So the difference between driving a Grand Marquis and a Crown Vic, there's a big difference. I've driven 2 2000 Grand Marquis. I now have a 2003, and I've also owned and driven a 1995 Aero Grand Marquis, and my last Panther was a 1998 Crown Vic LX. Just within the Grand Marquis, there's a big difference between the 1995 that I drove and the 2000 and the 2003. I've almost driven pretty much every generation of the Grand Marquis except the box Grand Marquis. I would love to get one of those, but you can't find those for cheap. Those are getting expensive, just as expensive as the P71s. Now, Aeros, the 90s body style Panthers, they were aerodynamic. That's what they call them. We call them Aeros for short. They drive a lot different than the 2000 models of Grand Marquis. The Aeros drive more like a classic car. There's way more play in the steering wheel, and the suspension is not good on the highway. The car shakes a lot over 60 miles an hour, but it is a fun car to drive. It feels really old school. It feels like you're driving like an 80-something Crown Vic or a Grand Marquis, opposed to the 2000, which was more of a solid car. I think with the 2000, it drove more like a Crown Vic than the Aeros did. It was a lot. It's not as smooth as an Aero when going at decent speeds, but there is a big difference between driving the two. You know, the Aero, again, it felt like you're driving a boat. The steering wheels in the Aeros are just cool as heck. And the 2000 Grand Marquis, they're pretty smooth, but it was a step up from the Aeros. So the drive is a lot stronger, but it's still smooth nonetheless. Now the 2003 Grand Marquis that I'm driving now, there's a big difference between driving that and the other Mercuries I had. This is the best year for the Grand Marquis due to the suspension, as we all know. The steering wheel, it has there's a lot more stiffness in the steering wheel, which is a good thing. There's a lot less play in the steering wheel. And I think these cars have the P71 intake. Some of them do. So it kind of gets up a little bit. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure most 2003 Grand Marquis have the P71 intake. So the drive on this is really smooth, but it feels a lot stronger than driving an Aero or an early 2000s Grand Marquis. And then you have the Crown Vic. I had a 1998 Crown Vic. It was my first Crown Vic ever. I've been into Panthers since I was a kid. The Lincoln Town Car is what got me into them. I owned a Crown Vic finally last year, a 1998 Crown Vic LX. It was modded it was straight piped. It had Flowmasters on it. It was a loud car. It was fun. The Crown Vic is more like a race car. I can see why a lot of guys that mod these cars put them on drag strips and race them, because it feels like these cars were built for that. Police officers drove them back in the day, chased bad guys at high speeds and all types of stuff like that. And it just feels like it's built for racing. Opposed to the Grand Marquis, which is much more luxurious. Not as luxurious as the Lincoln Town Car, but the Crown Vic is more if you're pedal to the metal type of person. You definitely want to get a Crown Vic. If you're more laid back, cruising, you might want to get a Grand Marquis. But either or, guys push these into the ground, and as long as you take care of them, it should last forever. I mean, there's a video here on YouTube of an older gentleman who has a I think it's a 98 Crown Vic LX that reached 1 million miles. And all he did was simple maintenance. There's no modifications or anything. So these cars will last you a very long time, regardless of what Panther you choose to drive. So that's pretty much the video. I just wanted to make that. That's pretty much the video. The difference between driving the Crown Vic and the Grand Marquis. The guys and the women that are really into the modification side of these cars can tell you a lot more why they're different. But those are just my simple reasons why I think they're different. Just the smoothness and drive is a lot different between the Grand Marquis and the Crown Vic. They all drive smooth, but again, the Crown Vic is more like, you're trying to beat people at the light, off the line, and the Grand Marquis is kind of more luxurious, like the Lincoln Town Car. So if you're thinking about getting either or, it really depends on what type of driver you are. If you have the money to really choose between the two. If you're more of a faster driver, you might want to get a Crown Vic. And if you're more of a slow down driver and laid back, a Grand Marquis is probably your style. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.